All right, y'all. Peace. Peace to everybody in the name of Yeshua, Jesus, our Messiah. We are live. It is official. We are officially live. This is official. And wow, guys, wow. Do we have some amazing things to talk about today? Some crazy price action going on. Some very crazy price action. Now, I've got my black coffee, which I love in the morning. It's a beautiful day. The roosters are very ambitious today. The roosters are very ambitious. They were chasing me around the yard, and I had to put them in their place. The way I do that is I take them down, I hold them down on the ground, and I push their head down into the ground for 10 seconds. It lets them know that I'm the alpha rooster around these parts. And then I give them a nice rooster crow. That puts them in their place. All right, guys, so Bitcoin, Ethereum, they are dumping. They are dumping. And this is no surprise to us since yesterday, actually, yes, yesterday, I did post in my TA channel that we are getting a bearish divergence on Market Cipher B. If we take a look at Ethereum here and we go to the 4-hour, we can see very, very clearly here that the price was going up and the momentum on Market Cipher B was coming down. And we know that this inevitably will lead to some kind of a correction. And now we can see that we're forming a very, very solid support right here on the 21 moving average on the 4-hour. And guys, I am going to mark up some levels. We are going to do some more TA. But shout out to everybody here in the chat. May God bless all of you guys. Hector Gutierrez says the Jason Casper like button is going to the moon. Yes, guys, like the video. The Jason Casper like button is the next Dogecoin. So make sure to go like this video. And shout out to Bojan holding it down with the wrench in the chat here. Shout out to Brent Heyer, who's telling everyone to like the video. Shout out to Jerry RC310R, who says happy Friday. It's almost the Sabbath. That's right, it's almost Shabbat, which is a nice time of rest and worship. Yes, yes. I'm going to mark out some levels here, but I just want to point out the fact superficially. If we take a look at Ethereum right now, it looks like, guys, we are forming a nice support right here on the 21 EMA. We have been unable to lose this level for the past 12 hours, which is very significant, right? This 21 EMA is holding as very solid support. We're starting to see the VWAP on Ethereum cross back up over the zero line on the 4-hour. If we look at the 3-hour, we can really see this VWAP is starting to curve back up. If we look at the 2-hour, we can see we're even almost starting to form a bottom. And if we look at the 1-hour, we can see that we actually have formed a bottom. So what this means, guys, is that probably if I was a betting man, right, I would say that we're starting to form a bottom here, and we're going to be able to get some upward movement. Okay, that's kind of what I'm expecting here, and the reason for that is because, as you guys know, in the past, when Ethereum was coming up here, I was telling people, you know, it's obviously it's not a great time to enter at these highs. We want to wait until Market Cipher B cools down, and if we print, you know, a nice tight green trigger wave in this area, while we're also holding the support on the 21 EMA, that to me is, you know, a great long entry. That is a wonderful long entry, because what it does is it tells us, okay, not only have we found a support, an area where the price has had trouble breaking below, but Market Cipher B is telling us that the momentum in the market is also pushing us upwards. It's also pushing us upwards. And so, you know, that is what we are going to be looking for. On Bitcoin, we see something not so similar, but a little similar, which is the fact that we seem to be forming support on the 55 EMA, at least for now. And we also seem to be starting to come to the bottom of this dump. If we go to the 3-hour time frame, we can see it's pretty clear that the VWAP is really starting to curve up. And if we come to the 1 hour, again, yes, we are starting to print the bottom here. It doesn't mean we've come to the bottom, guys. It does not mean that. And I'm going to pull up some levels and just kind of show you guys where my mind is at, where I am thinking, you know, what we can do. Shout out to Nakamoto Satoshi, who says we're going to 48 this weekend. I can promise you 8 explanation points. And David Todorov says he's going long at 60, 690. What do I think? Well, I do think that is a good entry. That's a good entry, technically speaking, and the reason why I think that's a good entry is because if we take a look at this very sloppy chart that I have marked up here, that $60,000 region is a major support. So if you are just technically trading support and resistance, and you saw that we were getting a bounce off of, you know, this support region right here, which was a very strong support. We were trading along this line of high liquidity right here from April 10th all the way to April 12th. And so when you saw price come down here and you saw us getting a bounce, that is technically a good entry, because even if it doesn't go your way, you have a very clear point of invalidation to your trade. So, you know, we can, just because when we're entering trades, good entries really can make or break your entire trading plan, because even if the trade doesn't go your way, the fact that you have a good entry, meaning you can set a stop loss that's in a very clear place, your hypothesis is because we're bouncing off this support, I think we're going to continue upwards. You know that if we just form a lower high and then come back down below the support, get out of the trade. You risk a very little amount to potentially come back up to these highs. Now, when we're looking at this kind of chart that I have marked up here, guys, I have a lot of levels here, and I know that this can be sloppy to a lot of people, but I just want to bring out a few things. Number one, it's very possible that we can come down lower still. The reason for that is because on the higher time frames, we have not bottomed out yet. Another reason for that is because you can see that we've been trading in this kind of rising wedge pattern. And, you know, if we're going to come to the top and then dump, you know, we could very well come down and test this area right here around the $59,000 region. And really what I'm doing, guys, is I'm just looking to get into a long position off of these areas here, and potentially even down to the CME gap, which was, I think it was, let me check out what that exactly was here. Here it is. Where was that gap? The gap was, wow, 58.6. 58.6 was that gap. And if we do come down and close that gap, guys, that would be that'd be a really nice long entry. But 58.6, that would be right about here. So what this would do, let's just hypothetically say we do come down and close that gap, and then I'm going to get into some levels and we'll do some other TA. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat here. Some good comments in the chat. Hypothetically, if we close that gap, you know, we would come down, we would wick out below this trend line, which is the bottom support of that rising wedge, and then we would get a really nice bounce off of there. So overall, you know, I'm obviously still bullish on Bitcoin, but it really would not surprise me if we came down lower and did something like what we did right in this area, where we found a very clean support, not only on the trend line, but also on this horizontal support, and then go up from there. So, let's go to the daily real quick and just kind of take a look at things from more of a macro scale. We're clearly printing a red dot on the daily. Okay, a red dot on the daily. But to be honest with you guys, it doesn't concern me too much, simply because we oftentimes print red dots on Market Cipher B on the daily time frame, and then we will come down just a little bit and print another green dot. So just something to keep in mind there. Just something to keep in mind there. Okay. All right, let's get to a clean chart, and let's mark out some levels, and let's talk about, how we plan to trade this. Let me take a look in the chat here. Any significance with the bounce off the 50 EMA? Yeah, oftentimes you're going to be able to get bounces off of these EMAs, because those EMAs are acting as dynamic levels of support and resistance. And so when price comes down to those levels, there's a lot of people trading those levels. And so you can get a nice scalp entry, just based on those levels of support and resistance. And if we just look, historically at the price, and this is the daily time frame here, but if we go down to maybe the 4-hour time frame, we can see that if we do come down to that 55 EMA, even if we come down further, we get a little bounce off of it, right? Even when we come down to it, if we're in an uptrend, even if we come down further, we usually get a bounce off of it. But the reason I use the 21 EMA and the 55 EMA, guys, is because usually the 21 EMA, when we're in an uptrend, acts as the dynamic support that we're looking for to get those bounces to show us that the uptrend is going to continue. But if we come down and we start bouncing off the 55 EMA, that usually indicates that we're going to have some more downward momentum. And so right now, what is happening is we are crossing below the 55 EMA. So, and we're actually rejecting off of it too. So, I'm totally expecting some more downward momentum. We will see what happens at this level of support right here around 60,000. I want to point out something, guys, real quick. When we are looking at the price action of Bitcoin, I always talk about longing the bounces off the 21 EMA. So like I longed this bounce. I longed this bounce. In fact, I longed this bounce. I think, what just happened here? Sorry, guys. Yeah, I longed that bounce, and I posted that somewhere in the Discord. Yeah, right here. Because when I saw it happening, when you see, if we're in an uptrend and you see a dump like this, and this is the 4-hour time frame, if you see a dump like this happening, and price is coming down and it's going to hit the 21 EMA, which is ribbon 5 on Market Cipher A, and it's going to hit a support at the same time, inevitably you're going to get some kind of a reaction off of that. Now, last night we came down and we did hit that 21 EMA, but we fell through it. And there's a way you can tell that we're going to fall through it, or if we're going to get a bounce. And here's how you're going to tell. Notice Market Cipher B, when we are getting these nice bounces off the 21 EMA. Market Cipher B had printed a red dot a while ago, right? Like when we got this bounce, Market Cipher B did not have a fresh red dot on the 4-hour. It had been there for a few candles, and same with this bounce right here. It had been here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles before we got the bounce. This time, when we hit that 21 EMA, we are actually in the process of printing this red dot on Market Cipher B. So if you see price is coming down to the 21 EMA and Market Cipher B had printed a red dot in the past, you can look for the bounce. But if Market Cipher B is currently printing the red dot, it's not as likely that we're going to get a bounce. Check out what happened right here, for example. right here, we were touching that 21 EMA, but we were printing a red dot at the same time. And guys, another thing, if we are touching the 21 EMA and Market Cipher B is printing a red dot and you can clearly see the direction is coming down, that's how you know we're not really going to get a bounce. You'll be able to scalp it, you'll be able to get some kind of a little bounce, but probably not any kind of significant move. And contrarily, if we see that we're getting a bounce like right here, but Market Cipher B had printed a red dot a number of candles ago, that means we're coming toward a bottom and we can really look for that bounce. Like right here again, we get the bounce, but it was 4 candles ago that Market Cipher B had printed the red dot here. So that is really going to help you out as you do your TA. We have questions in here about the CME gap and how that happened. Well, guys, the CME gap is the futures market that trades Monday through Friday. And what happens is every Friday the market closes and the Bitcoin price keeps trading, and what that does is it actually creates a gap in the candlesticks, because the market closed on Friday right here at 58.6, but then it opened up on Sunday night around 60K. And so what happens a lot of times, I would say probably 85% of the time, is that gap will get closed. Price will come down to fill this gap. And it happens a lot of times, and so people are looking for price to come down to this region as an added layer of confluence to their long positions. That's what the CME gap is. So let's do some top-down analysis here on Bitcoin, and then we'll go to Ethereum. Ethereum's looking good, guys. Ethereum is looking good. Because we're forming such a strong support on the 21 EMA, if we can hold that as support for the next few 4-hour candles, and if we start printing a nice bottom here on the 4-hour, then I would expect us to get a nice upward move out of that. And congratulations to everybody who did short this. Let's see here. I did, right here, the Valentine's Day, we had this clear bearish divergence forming. Okay, so let's go to the daily time frame. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mark out our levels that I am going to be trading off of. And the way you're going to do this, guys, is you're going to come over here. You're going to do a horizontal line. And we're going to just mark some support and resistance levels, and we're going to talk about how you can get those accurate levels. What you're going to do is you are going to come over to your chart on the daily time frame and start over to the left of the chart, not to the right, to the left, and you're going to find areas where price historically has found some kind of sticking point. You're going to do this on the daily time frame, and I know I go over this a lot, but it's because it's important. And we're just going to mark out some areas where price historically has found a sticking point. You want to look to see where the daily candles have opened and closed. That's what you want to look for. Where have the daily candles opened and closed? So right here we have 2 candles. This one closed, this one opened. And what this does is it marks out levels in the market where there was a lot of liquidity, and price will inevitably retrace back to those areas because the market remembers that there was a lot of liquidity there. So if whales want to fill large buy or sell orders, they will push the market back to these areas to liquidate all the small people like you and me, so that they can fill their very large orders and get all that liquidity in the market. And that's one of the reasons why I prefer to trade with lower leverage. That way, if there is a crazy dump like what happened right now, it doesn't put me in danger if I am currently in a position. So okay, we have a level. I would put one also right here at the 59,000, and then this is not a daily level, but this would be a 4-hour level right here at 60,000. So what you're going to do first is you're going to mark the daily levels, and then you're going to go down to the 4-hour time frame, and you're going to mark the 4-hour levels. So you're going to look on the 4-hour time frame and see, okay, where did price find a sticking point on the 4-hour time frame? And we clearly see one right here around 60K. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that, and I'll change the color. I'll make it green so we know it's for the 4 hour. And then also I see one right up here, right around 62K. And so these are the levels that we are going to be really looking at here to trade in at least in the short term. And of course, you can go back and mark more levels as well. We had one at 55.8. And you don't have to keep these all in your chart at the same time, but what this does is it gives us market structure to trade off of. Shout out to Moonwolf. Sorry if anybody's getting wrecked. Yeah, we're going to do this. And what we're going to do is we're going to wait for price to come down to one of these levels. And notice how these levels are respected, guys. Just notice how they're respected. This orange level right here, it was resistance, resistance. And then when we crashed, we got a perfect bounce off of this level. We got a perfect bounce off of that level. And then when we come down to this green level here, we also get a perfect bounce off of it. Why is that? It's because these are areas of liquidity where the market will push price to. And so what we're going to do is when we see price coming to these levels, then we're going to look at Market Cipher and see, okay, what is Market Cipher telling us? Check out what happened here, guys. We come down to this green level of support. We find support here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4-hour candles. That's 20 hours that we're unable to lose this support. And while we're holding this support, Market Cipher B on the 4-hour is telling us we've printed a bottom, right? So we have a clear support telling us price is not going to go lower. And we have Market Cipher giving us confluence, saying, guys, momentum is moving up. It's time to long. Same deal right here, right? We are finding support on this daily support level. Market Cipher B on the 4 hours telling us we're printing a bottom. And again, we don't actually have to see that green dot. We can kind of tell what's happening before it happens, because Market Cipher gets real skinny down here. We can tell the waves are about to cross over. The 3 hour has already printed the green dot down here. And if we come to a support and we're holding that support, and the 2 hour and the 3 hour are starting to print green dots, that's a very good indication that we are coming up. That's a very good indication that we are coming up. Yeah, shout out to Robert Hamd, who says support and resistance are key. They are key. And a lot of people overcomplicate support and resistance because there's a lot of ways to get support and resistance levels. A lot of people overcomplicate it. But if you just take this simple approach, you will find that you have a lot of success trading just based on these levels that you just draw by hand. Of course, there's always room to improve, with harmonics and Elliott wave counts and fractals and all these different ways to obtain levels. Volume is a great way to obtain levels as well. But if you just draw them by hand and use Market Cipher for confluence and make sure to long the supports and short the resistances instead of longing the resistances and shorting the supports, then you're going to be good. You are going to be good, and it will allow you to find those good entries, because here's the thing. Check this out. Let's say you had longed right here for a nice little scalp trade bounce. You can enter the position and know, okay, my stop loss needs to be put just below the support, because my hypothesis is we are getting a bounce and we're going to come up like this for the bounce. And if we don't come up like that and we drop below the support, then immediately your trade idea becomes invalidated, because your hypothesis was we're getting a bounce, and if we don't get the bounce, you get out of the trade. This structure really helps you, because if you take away this structure, you have nothing on which to base your trade. You don't know where to put your stop loss. You could get wicked out. The market structure is very important, guys. It's very, very important. So I'm looking for, right now, currently, while Bitcoin is in this period of dropping down, I'm looking for us to come to these levels. 60K was my first level that I was really looking to enter a long position in. But if we bleed down more, then I'll be looking at the 58.9 slash 58.6 area because of the CME gap. And again, if we pull up this chart here, we can see that potentially, just to maintain trading within this rising wedge, we could come down and test this area right here, which is the CME gap, which is also the 21 EMA on the daily time frame. So as far as entries go, if we're looking to long, I'm looking to these supports because I always like to long the support. I don't like to short support. If we come down to here, I would not ever be looking for a short position because we already just came down all this way. I would be looking to get into some kind of long position. All right, let's take a look at Ethereum now. Ethereum is this is the daily time frame for Ethereum. Let me pull up a different chart here, guys. Let me pull up. Is this my Ethereum? No, this is not the Ethereum chart that I want. I have a lot of charts nowadays, guys. It's because I have one for my Ethereum's looking nice, by the way, guys. Ethereum's actually looking really nice. This is the 3 minute. I thought this was the 3 hour for a second. Okay, so if we take a look at Ethereum, first of all, on the 4 hour, we found really good support on the 21 EMA. This is a very bullish sign, the fact that we found this support on the 21 EMA, which is ribbon 5 on Market Cipher A, if anybody doesn't know. The bearish divergence played out, and in an uptrend, the 21 EMA is the place where we get those really nice bounces for those really nice runs up, right? We can just look historically at Ethereum and see that when we come down and have a major dump and we get that bounce off the 21 EMA, it leads to another move up. It leads to another move up. The fact that we've been able to hold this thing, okay, for the past 10 hours, and not only are we holding it, but we tried to break through it 1 time, we tried to break through it 2 times, we tried to break through it 3 times, and we're coming back up with momentum, is very bullish. And guys, just remember, none of this is financial advice. This is for your entertainment purposes only, since I am only a guy on YouTube. And if you do accidentally mistake what I'm telling you as financial advice, not only will you lose all your Ethereum, but you will lose all your Bitcoin, you will lose all your Dogecoin. You're going to stub your toe on your chair when you're getting up to go to the bathroom, and it's going to make you pee your pants in the office in front of all your colleagues. And then you're going to be so embarrassed, you will be forever known as the guy who peed his pants in the office. And then you're going to go into the break room to get a cup of coffee. You're going to take a sip. It's going to be way too hot. You're going to burn your tongue. And the pain is going to be so intense that you wet your pants for the second time. So please do not take this as financial advice. Okay, this is just entertainment purposes. Just throwing that out there. That is the Jason Casper disclaimer. Ethereum on the 1 hour, we are printing that bottom. Which is nice. That's a nice big bottom right there. The 2 hours looking like we are starting to potentially print a bottom. The 3 hour is also looking like the VWAP is about to curve up. This bearish divergence just played out, and now price has come down to let things settle a little bit. And if we go to the daily time frame here, let me mark out some of the levels that we have been watching. So, as many of you know, Ethereum, we've been tracking for a long time. We were tracking this giant symmetrical triangle that was forming on the chart. We broke out of that triangle, and let's just mark out some of our daily levels of support and resistance right here. So again, we're looking for areas where the candles have opened and closed, right? Because this will give us our market structure so that we know when price comes to one of these levels, we're going to be interested. We're going to be interested in a trade, right? It's like when somebody calls you to try and sell you a product and they say, "Are you interested?" And you say, "Yes, I'm interested." And they say, "Do you want to buy right now?" And you say, "No, no, no. I need some time to think about it, but I'm interested. I'm interested." So I would put a level right here because of all these candle open and closes. I would again put a level right here because of all these candle open and closes. And look what happens, guys. Right? Look at what happens. You put the level, you mark the level right here when it first happens on February 18th. And then on April 8th, right? 2 months later, this level is respected to literally the exact dollar. That's why these support and resistances are so powerful for trading. And then I would also put one right here as well. And it is pretty interesting right now that we are kind of coming down, potentially testing this level here. I want to take a look also, though, at some Fibonacci retracement levels, because when we get into this uncharted territory where we don't have much price action, sometimes it's nicer to use fib levels just to kind of see what is happening. But just based on these daily support and resistances, you know, obviously this daily level right here would be an area of prime interest. If we come to the 4-hour, yeah, that level is of prime interest, but because this 21 EMA is also acting as support, you know, in general, this general zone is of prime interest to me if I'm looking to long. If I'm looking to long, it's very difficult for me to short all-time highs, guys. I know a lot of people do it with good success. For me, shorting all-time highs is kind of scary because I don't have an actual resistance level to short off of. I don't have a resistance level to short off of. So if I'm not already long and we are getting into all-time highs, I won't short. I'll just sit on the sidelines and I will wait until we come down to a support, and then I will look for a long. And then if we come back up to a resistance, I will look for a short. And guys, I was in an Ethereum trade. Man, this is a disappointing story. This is a disappointing story. Shout out to Arkai who says Theta is pumping. I'm glad Theta is pumping, guys, because as you know, I was hodling up my Theta in here. I posted this update on Theta, basically saying Theta just announced their 3rd U.S. patent. The last 2 caused major pumpage. Going to Pump City, baby. And we were forming this massive triangle on the 12-hour. We were getting this upward momentum. And of course, you know, after I posted this and I loaded up my Theta, defecation. So, but anyway, I was in an Ethereum trade all the way back from right here. And I was holding that thing. I was holding it. I was going to hold it until Valentine's Day, which came yesterday. And unfortunately, guys, and as we came up, I continued to add to my position. I even increased my leverage from that account so I could add a little bit more to my position as well. And unfortunately, I had a market take profit order set at $2,500 from way back when I entered the trade. And I totally forgot I had that order set. And it got filled yesterday right at $2,500. I was really upset when it happened. In hindsight, I guess it's okay because I got out, like, you know, at the top. But, man, I was really hoping I could keep that thing going. But I got out of the trade. It was a really great swing trade, a really great swing trade on ByBit. I got out with massive profit. It was really nice. And if anybody doesn't have ByBit yet, and by any chance you don't and you want to get on there, if you click the link in the description of the video, you can get a $200 bonus for signing up and depositing 0.1 BTC. So that was my Ethereum trade story. Let's pull out our fib and see if we can obtain some other targets, right? So I'm just going to erase these daily levels for a second here. For a second. And I'm going to pull out the fib. And I'm just going to take it from, let's just take it from this little dip here just real quick. Let's take it from this little dip real quick right here and just see what's happening. So if we take that move here, wow, we got pretty much a perfect bounce off the 0.382 level. Things are looking good for Ethereum. If we take the fib from this lower level right here and pull it to the top, we're bouncing off the 0.236. Now, if anybody's unfamiliar with how Fibonacci works, basically it's just retracing a percentage of a move. So if this, from this swing low to this swing high, is 100% of the move, if we come down to the 0.236, that means we've retraced 23.6% of the move, and we can be looking for bounces off of these areas. We can always be looking for bounces off of these areas. The bounciest area, guys, and the most significant area is the 0.618 and also a little bit below it. That's known as the golden ratio. That is a great area to get into a trade. And if you want to learn more about support and resistance, Fibonacci, all these things, I do have a course, guys. It's a comprehensive trading course. It will go through everything you need to know to become a confident, profitable trader. And the focus is on Market Cipher here. So it's taken for granted that you're using Market Cipher, but really we're going to go through everything you need to know to create your own strategy. So down here, we focus on creating and testing your own strategy step by step, how to back test it, how to gain confidence in it. We even go through some profitable strategies that I already use with success and many other people do. If you're interested in that, go to jasoncaspertrading.com. Link is in the description of this video. And Bojan, would I get in an ETH swing trade right now? Would I get in an ETH swing trade right this second? Guys, FOMO into the like button. Wow, we have 1,200 people in here and only 300 likes. I'm telling you guys, the like button is the new Dogecoin, right? The like button is about to go to the moon right now for this video. And if you guys don't like it, you are going to miss out. And like I said, I don't give financial advice. But if I had to give financial advice and somebody had a gun to my head and they said, Jason, if you don't give me financial advice right now, I'm going to pull this trigger, I would say, like this video. Because as many of you know, the Jason Casper like button has recently been listed on Coinbase. You can trade it on ByBit with up to 100x leverage. And Elon Musk is all about it, man. He's telling people you can buy a Tesla car with the Jason Casper like button. This is one of those little coins that's going to go to the moon. Well, when I say coin, I mean a thumbs up. Would I get into a swing ETH trade right now? It's so hard to say. What I would do right now, honestly, because I'm not in an ETH position, I would be looking for a scalp entry or a day trade entry that would then turn into a swing trade. That's what I would do. I really like to enter swing trades when we are at the bottom, right? That's why I entered back here, because as soon as I saw money flow curving to the red on the 4-hour double bottom, I'm like, all right, I'm in. You sold me. I'm interested, and yes, I will buy. And of course, I was in this for a while, guys, and we came up 19%, and then I came down, 10%. And then I came up, and then I came down, and then I was just hodling it. I was hodling it because I was waiting for February 14th. I was waiting for that $2,500 level. And this is an intense trade to be in, guys. It's hard to be in a swing trade, especially when things go up and down and up and down. But if you can get into a bottom like this, right, in a bull market, if you can long a bottom like this on Bitcoin or Ethereum, where the price is coming to a low and money flow is in the red on the 4-hour and we're printing multiple bottoms, that is a good place to enter into a swing long. And I was up a lot on that trade. I think it was up over 150% by the time it got out. And I was, let's see, because when did I get out? So I had that sell order at 2,500, so it was up 75%. And I think maybe I had eventually on 2x leverage, and so it was up over 150%. So that was pretty sweet. Yeah, but I would be looking for an entry right now, and then I would just see how it goes, right? A lot of times scalps turn into day trades, right? A lot of times scalps turn into day trades, and you know, right now Ethereum is doing very well, holding that support, holding that support. Would love to see the 2-hour confirm bullish. Shout out to Jose V, who says, hello, just got your course and it's so good. I'm new. I shorted the market yesterday. Awesome, Jose. I'm glad you're enjoying the course. Richie J says, who doesn't like to get into a bottom? Yeah, if we're talking about trading here, yeah, for sure. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, so, okay. RY Andy wants to know, how often do I mark my support and resistance lines? I usually do it once a week, guys. I usually do it once a week. And I use other tools for this as well. Mark Primex says, how do you know it's a support or a resistance on the 4-hour if you're making them on the daily? Well, you color code them. So you start in the daily and you make, you know, one color, and then you go to the 4-hour and you make it another color. And you know, Bitcoin right now is printing that bottom on the 1-hour, and also looking like we're going to print the bottom on the 2-hour. This is nice in my view. This is nice in my view. This 61, this area right here is a resistance area that, you know, I'm hoping we can break through it. I'm hoping we can break through it. But to be totally transparent with you guys, I am actually long right now on Bitcoin. I'm long right now on Bitcoin from down at the bounce that we were getting at this support here, and I you know, told people in the Discord I'm going long, but I'm still potentially looking for downward movement. So, yeah. And guys, if you do want to get into that, the private Discord, you can become a Patreon. You can become a Patreon. And if anybody's been having trouble, if anybody got the course and had some issues getting an email, when I went on BitBoy's show, the website got overwhelmed, and the mailer actually stopped working because the mailer thought the website was hacked and was sending out spam emails. And so it got put on lockdown, and we were working on resolving the situation. We resolved it for most people, but some people who bought the course maybe like at a certain time maybe did not ever get their login information. So if that happened to you, please reach out to me, either in the Discord or send me an email. You can find my email on the YouTube channel, and we will get everything settled out for you. We will get everything settled out for you, for sure. Okay, so, yeah, so that's basically, for Ethereum, for Bitcoin, I'm really just looking to find long positions at these lows, guys. I'm really just looking to find long positions at the lows and find confluence with Market Cipher, and that's how I trade. I trade level to level. I mark out my levels maybe once a week or so, and I just trade level to level, meaning if I see that we're coming up to a resistance, I will look to enter a short position, like what happened right here, where, you know, right before the big pump, the last trade I entered before the breakout was a short position, and the reason I entered that short position was simply because we were coming up to a resistance. You could see we wicked up to the resistance. As soon as I saw we were getting rejected, I looked at the lower time frames on Market Cipher for confluence. Market Cipher said we're coming down. I said, all right, I'm going to enter a short. And I'm not scared to lose the short because, first of all, I don't over leverage my trades, and I'm not concerned about getting liquidated. And second of all, it's a really great entry. It's a really great entry because I'm shorting at support. If you're shorting at support, that is technically a good entry. Even if you lose the trade, that's still a good entry because I have a very clear area where if price does come back up and we come past this previous wick, okay, get out of the trade. No worries. Now I was wrong. Not a big deal. I know I'll win the next trade. But there's a lot of downward potential here because we're at resistance to come down to some of these support levels. And, you know, what do you know? What do you know? We come down. And this is like a nice little scalp trade, right? Because you're not looking to ride this thing down back to zero. You're just looking to ride it down and get a nice little gain here. And so I go level to level. Level to level. All right, let's talk about some other coins here, guys. I love seeing stuff like this too, right? These sweet entries before they happen. Let's get into some questions. I'm gonna go into the chat here. Is there anything anybody wants to take a look at here? Amish Patel wants to know if Doge is going to $1. We could take a look at Doge. E-Gold is in a triangle pattern, says Jaswinder Singh. That's awesome. Cool. We'll have to look. Doesn't Bitcoin look a little double topish, says Justin Olson. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. That's a good perspective. Double topish. Definitely not on the higher time frames. Let's take a look at the lower time frames here. I don't really see that, to be totally real. I don't really see that. But I will tell you what I do see on the lower time frames, and one of the reasons why I actually got into a long is because we were bouncing off support. Here, let me show you guys. Let me actually show y'all. Yeah. We were bouncing off the support right down here. Okay. And not only were we bouncing off the support, but we were forming some bullish divergences happening down at this support. We're forming bullish divergences where momentum is coming up and price was coming down, right? We could see from here down to here, price was coming down while momentum was going up. And you know, obviously I am not like I didn't like bet the farm on this long, but you know, I definitely would like to see us come up to this first take profit level here, so I could have a nice little scalp and then play it by ear and see what happens. See what happens, right? Because that would be a nice from my entry. That would be a nice, you know, 1.5% gain right there. And you know, I saw the bullish divergences forming on the lower time frames. This is the 9-minute, but if we go to the 3-minute, you know, right around my entry, you know, we had the double bottom, we had the clear upward momentum, and this is what I mean by looking at levels and then coming to Market Cipher for confluence. You know, we had a clear upward direction, a clear bullish divergence forming, and then, you know, soon after that we had a money flow crossover on the 3-minute. And you know, I'm just playing it by ear here. I'm playing it by ear. You know, I always take profit when I'm in profit. And you know, I'm keeping in mind the fact that, you know, I'm looking to get a bounce and that we could come lower. You know, in fact, even I'm expecting to come lower in some cases because we're below the 55 EMA. But yeah. You know, you come down here, you see what's happening at this exact support level on the lower time frames, and you see a clear bullish divergence on the lower time frames. You can even see it on the higher time frames. You know, look at this on the higher time frames. On the 12-minute, you see this very, very clear bullish divergence forming, right? Price is coming down, momentum is going up. So, you know, that's what made me look to get into this trade. And when we're getting into these trades, you know, we have to keep in mind, take profit when you are in profit. So right now, you know, I'm technically in about 0.81% profit. So you know what? I should probably take a little profit out. If I'm treating this as a scalp. But if I see that we're getting up to this resistance and we're able to push through it with momentum, then, you know, I would obviously take profit along the way up, but you know, you can turn this thing, you could turn this thing into a trade that lasts quite some time. Okay, let's see. Guys, my other screen I was looking at kind of died, so I can't look at the charts and the chat at the same time. Moonwolf, shout out to Moonwolf, guys. Moonwolf, good at TA. A very nice guy. He's like a wolf going to the moon. Is anyone else in a BNB long? Maybe a bullish divergence about to print on the 1 hour. Let's check out BNB on the 1 hour. What kind of sloppy chart is this? What kind of sloppy nonsense? Man, Jason, you need to get your act together. Guys, I'm a mess. I have to be real. I'm going to be totally transparent with you guys. I did not realize how much work this YouTube channel and Discord community was going to be. I have been not sleeping. I've been not eating. And I've been staying up into the wee hours of the night, planting seeds at night with floodlights from my truck because I've been doing so much during the day. I haven't had time to look at the charts like I used to. It's been an interesting process, But I appreciate all of you so much. And I do pray for all of you that the Lord blesses you. And I mean that. All right, so let's take a look at BNB on the 1 hour, where we see a possible bullish divergence forming, where price has been coming down like this from this red dot down to, I guess you could say, this red dot here. And on Market Cipher B, we can also see that, okay, maybe not from there. From here, maybe, is this the divergence forming? A possible divergence forming on the 1 hour? According to Moonwolf. Yeah, look at that, guys. Look at that. A possible bullish divergence forming on the 1 hour. If we zoom into the 15-minute, yeah, I could see a bullish divergence forming down here for BNB. And if we zoom out to the 12-hour here on BNB, Binance Coin, you know, all of these coins, guys, are because we're in a bull market, assuming we're not at the tippity top, you know, we're getting ready for some nice longs. I mean, look at the last time BNB did something similar to this. It did consolidate for a little bit more, but it led to a pump. And so, you know, let's see what happens. If looking on the 12-hour, you know, for me this 21 EMA is of prime importance. But if we come to the 4-hour, you know, we're right now is very clear that we're in a period of consolidation for BNB. It's very clear. Because if we are trading on the moving averages, that means we are in a period of consolidation of sideways market. If we are trading above the moving averages, that means we're in an uptrend. If we are trading below the moving averages, that means we are in a downtrend. And we haven't really had one for BNB for quite some time, so we can't really see that. We've just been in an uptrend, consolidate, uptrend, consolidate, uptrend, consolidate. And so, you know, for me, if I'm looking for an entry into this coin, obviously I want to see us consolidate. I will be looking for those divergences. I want to see us print a nice big bottom, a nice big old bottom here on the 4-hour and get some upward momentum. And it looks like, guys, you know, we're starting to bottom out, to say the least. We're starting to bottom out, to say the least. Some areas of support and resistance that I would look at are, well, this one right here that we just broke below. This was an area of support and resistance for Binance Coin. And then, you know, it's kind of hard to do this on the daily time frame, right? Because we haven't had that many candles. But I would say this, let me go down to the 4-hour. This was a clear level here on the 4-hour. And, you know, I would say really it would be very nice if we could come down to this level of support, which we held as support for 2 days, right? For 2 days we consolidated at this level of support. If we can come down to this level of support, that would be a very nice area to look for a long. If the 4-hour comes down even more and prints a nice bottom, then yeah, you know, look for a long. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to everybody who FOMO'd into the like button. Thank you, T-Rog, for his IT administrator skills. Action Camera, no way to predict the bottom. Well, Action Camera, there is no way to predict the exact bottom, but let me just say, right? Let me just say that when it comes to seeing kind of where the bottom is, it's if we're using Market Cipher, okay, it becomes much easier to identify the bottom because we can identify bottoms, right? We can identify bottoms easily, but maybe not the bottom. But whenever we see the wave starting to curve under on the higher time, the medium time frames, the 3 hour, the 4 hour, and we start to see bullish divergences forming on the lower time frames in upward direction, you know, we can at least know that we are going to get some kind of an upward movement. And the higher the time frame, the more accurate those are. Like, just as an example, on the daily time frame, if we're looking at Market Cipher B on the daily time frame, every single time we print a green wave crossover on the daily below the zero line, that was the bottom. That was the bottom, right? I mean, literally, that was the bottom. It happened on January 28th. It happened on March 2nd. It happened on March 27th. You know, when these waves cross over on the daily, I mean, that does tell us the bottoms of these major corrections, And perhaps, you know, we are having another one of those, but we will have to wait and see. Again, we came up to there. Yeah, and again, guys, this level, the 58.6 level, is a juicy level because not only is it the trend line, okay, of this wedge, but it's also the CME gap, and it's also right under a daily support level as well. So we have a very strong support right around the $59,000 level, and so yeah, I'm definitely keeping my eye on this level for sure. Yeah, Action Camera, you cannot see that live on the daily, only if you watch in history. Well, I have to be honest with you, Action Camera. I vividly remember putting in a long on January 28th because the green dot was printed. And I went to sleep, and I remember I told my wife I entered a long, and I'm looking to hold it for a long time, I told her, because we printed a green dot on the daily. When I woke up, Elon Musk had tweeted in my sleep, and I was up, 18% overnight, and I was shocked. I vividly remember this happening because we had an appointment with the midwife that day, and because my wife is pregnant, and we do the whole home birth thing, right? So, yeah, because having a child is not a medical procedure. It's like a normal part of life. It should happen in the comfort of your home. But anyway, I vividly remember driving to the midwife appointment that morning, being shocked and awed at that tweet, and then watching the rest of the day as we slowly dripped back down, right? As we slowly dripped back down. But you can see this happening. You can see this happening if this daily green dot confirms. Like, look, it's not the exact bottom. It's not the exact bottom. But you can foresee this bottom printing because look at this. I'm going to put a vertical line on the daily green dot right here, and then I'm going to go down to the 4 hour. Okay, and we'll go back to January 28th. And look at what's happening on the 4 hour on January 28th, okay? Not only did we print a bottom on the 4 hour where money flows in the red, but we're printing a very, very, very clear trigger wave with an extremely, I mean, if you ever see something like this happening, I mean, this is the most clear cut we're going up you've ever seen in your life. We have a money flow cross and 3 consecutive waves that are printing higher lows. That's extremely clear. And yeah, so this would have been a really great entry on the 4-hour anyway. And knowing, because guys, Market Cipher B is the kind of thing where you can draw on this thing, right? You can draw on this thing with your paintbrush tool, okay? And you can get an idea of where the market is heading before the market actually gets there. If you're just outlining the money flow and the waves in general, you will notice that when we're in a strong uptrend, we don't print much below the 0 line. When we're in a strong downtrend or consolidation, we're not printing much above the 0 line. And this drawing on Market Cipher will really help you see the divergences. It will help you see the divergences because as I'm outlining the money flow and I'm watching the money flow curve under, it's showing me that the market is coming down before the market actually comes down. Okay, that's what's so great about Market Cipher. Price is coming up right here and trading sideways. Wow, simultaneously the money flow and the waves are getting lower on the 4-hour. Okay, the bearish divergence is printing, and then likewise when we get to the bottom here, okay, and I'm just outlining Market Cipher. When we bottom out and we start to see, if we draw a vertical line right here, and if I just turn off everything on Market Cipher, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to turn off everything on Market Cipher B. Where's my Market Cipher B? Here it is. It's right here. Market Cipher B. I'm going to turn off the waves. I'm going to turn off the WAP. I'm going to turn off the money flow. I'm even going to turn off the blue, the green and red dots. Oh my goodness. I'm going to turn off the RSIs. And I'm just going to keep my outline, okay? As soon as I see that we have reached an area of bottom, and I can see clear upward movement to the left and to the right, okay? And price in this zone is coming down or trading sideways. This, to me, is a very clear signal that we're coming back up. And that's why you've got to look at Market Cipher as a whole structure and not just as some dots, right? We're looking at the direction of the market. This is providing us with a visual. It's translating the price action into a visual language, right? That we can see. It's like the guy doing the sign language. You know, when the officials get on the television set and they start telling us all the scary things happening, there's always that person next to them with the crazy, they're like, oh my goodness, what is this poor person? They're doing the craziest sign language, the craziest faces. That's what Market Cipher is doing for us. And so we can tell when these bottoms are happening, y'all. We can tell. It's always easier in hindsight, but even if we just go to the replay mode and come to here, okay, look at what is happening, what we actually see on the chart. We see price coming down / trading sideways. We have identified a clear anchor zone, meaning a clear area where there is a bottom on the chart. And then we've seen, for the past 2 days, we've seen momentum coming up on Market Cipher while price is also consolidating. We've identified a bottom because even before the pump happens, we see upward movement to the right and upward movement to the left, showing us this nice V shape, this nice bottom right here. Okay? That's how you do it, y'all. And so now we can turn back on Market Cipher. We could turn on the light blue. We could turn on the dark blue. We could turn on the WAP. We could turn on the money flow. We could turn on the dots, everyone's favorite. We could turn on the RSI. We could turn on the STO RSI. It's very stoic, that RSI. And now we have more detail. We have more detail here. And we can see, okay, we're about to print a bottom on the 4-hour. We have a very clear bottom area printed as far as money flow goes. We've been coming down and moving up at the same time, and that would be telling us to enter and mix that with the fact that on the daily, right? Mix that with the fact that on the daily we are very clearly about to print a bottom here. Very clearly about to print a bottom. So that's kind of how we forefront run expert. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I don't know. And again, guys, this is for your entertainment purposes only. This is not financial advice. This is not financial advice. This is entertainment. Yes, yes, yes. Entertainment. Entertainment. And here comes the Bitcoin price back down. Here it comes back down. It's a good thing. It's a good thing that I took a little profit out of that long I was in. Here it's coming back down. Yeah, alright, let's get back into the chat here. Dumpy dump dump. Rob Phantom hopes that Doge crashes. Jeff Slicer is so entertained. Shout out to Jeff Slicer for his entertained state of mind. Doge just shot up another 10 cents. Oh man. What's up, Luis Rivera? What's up, Big Sneaky Worm? Time to buy ETH. Yeah. Can I do the same with ETH? Let's take a look. Yeah, Burn It 710 says I took profits and dumped the market like CF. Guys, no, I'm not a crypto face in any way. I'm not, right? Crypto face is on a whole nother level. Crypto face is on a whole nother level. Cool, Luis Rivera. I'm glad to hear you're chilling, man. That's good to hear on this beautiful Friday. Doge dropped 10 cents in 5 minutes. Shout out to Mehdi Ben from France. Shout out to Marino Blanco, who is from Argentina. I know you're kidding, Burn It 710. I appreciate your humor. I'm the kind of person who, if people are sarcastic and joking, I will act as if I think they're serious, and contrarily, I will be sarcastic and joking and act as if I am serious. And when my wife first met me, she couldn't tell if I was retarded or if I was just being sarcastic. It took her maybe a few years. Sometimes she still can't tell, but I think she knows now. But yeah, that happens a lot with me. All right, people want to take another look at ETH. All right, so ETH is looking mighty nice. You know, we've got the bullish divergences forming, even though we just had this dump on the 3-minute. Really, what I would be waiting for, we have an alert for Bitcoin Cash. Look at that. Bitcoin Cash is coming to the 21 EMA. And it looks like it's also getting a bounce off of that on the 4-hour. Wow. Look at that. Wow, that must have been a really fast bounce because I just got that alert. I guess it wasn't as fast. I guess my alert was delayed. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so back to ETH. Let's go to the 4-hour. So, yeah, Ethereum on the 4-hour. Wait a second. Is this really Ethereum on the 4-hour? Wow, we dumped a lot. We dumped a lot while I was doing this. How much did we dump right now for ETH? Wow, like 4%. So, guys, let me pull back my other chart for Ethereum here, where I've got my levels marked. The levels that we just went through. I think that was that unnamed chart? I meant to name it. No, it's not. It's not. Does anyone remember? Probably not. Was it the Forex chart? The reason this is the Forex chart is because I never changed the name. I never changed the name from when I was trading Forex. That was the chart I was using. Okay, wow. So yeah, here's Ethereum on the 4-hour, guys. We were holding that 21 EMA as clear support, and I was saying, you know, wow, this is nice right here. This is pretty nice that we've come down, we've tested the support, which really, you know, we came up, we tested it, we rejected, now we're testing it again. Let's see what we can see on the lower time frames right here. I mean, it's actually looking pretty nice on these lower time frames, because the 5 minute looks like we have a clear direction. The 3 minute looks like, wow, we have a very, very clear direction here. And even though we came back down with the lower wave, we still have that direction. The 12 minute. So it looks like to me we're just getting some downward momentum. We're clearly bouncing off of this support. You know, if I would be looking for something like this to print here, and if you see something like that print on the 12 minute, you know, that could be some really nice upward direction. But really, guys, what I really look for when I am looking to trade these levels is, first I'm looking for price to get to the level, then I'm going to the higher time frames like the 3 hour, the 4 hour, and see, are we starting to print a bottom? Are we starting to get a green dot, right? Because if you can see that we're about to, like, because we cannot always trust the 1 hour, because there was a green dot here and it did not confirm. We cannot always trust the 1 hour. If you see the 2 hour, the 3 hour starting to look like that the wave is crossing, like right here, you know, we need to get one where we can kind of tell, because the money flow can get in the way sometimes. But if we come back to this area right here, you know, we can tell that the bottom was about to print, because the VWAP was pressing upwards, and we can see that the waves are getting closer to each other. We can see the waves are getting closer to each other right there. And that's when you really want to look for the entry, and that's when you really want to go down to the lower time frames. But, you know, for right now, it's kind of clear the VWAP is coming up. It is coming up, but it's still kind of down, right? It's still kind of down. What can we relate it to is kind of like right in this area right here, where the VWAP was kind of starting to come up, but it was still kind of down, where perhaps if we find a nice resting place here, a nice support here, you know, look for that long entry. And really, the 21 EMA, guys, this is I'm a little disappointed that we're coming back down below it, because we were holding it so well. We were holding it so well for 12 hours. 12 hours holding that 21 EMA so well. Yeah, Burn at 710 says, I always feel like you have to front run the 1 hour and then hope the higher time frames confirm as we go up. Yeah, you're right, Burn. If you want to find those perfect entries, guys, we need to front run the 1 hour. We need to front run them and hope momentum goes up. But if you have an algorithmic strategy that you can use to trade consistently, you won't always get the best entries, but you will get good trades. And let me show you what I mean by that. You know, if we go to the BTC up on here, and we go to the 4 hour time frame, or even if we go to the 50-minute time frame, right, and we go to the 5 minute time frame, and when we see, you know, a bottom on the 50-minute time frame, if we enter at the next green trigger wave on the 5 minute time frame, we can get a nice, you know, if you were looking to scalp that, you know, you would get a nice, you know, 0.5% move right there. And if you're just scalping, you know, with 2x, 3x, that's a nice move. And, you know, really, you can look to see, okay, when we get a trigger wave on the 50-minute, okay, you enter the first trigger wave on the 5 minute, and a lot of times, guys, most of the time, you will get a nice move from there. So, you know, right here as well, you would have entered right here. You can either enter the money flow crossover or the first green trigger, and you'll almost always, most of the time, get a really nice move there. And so, you know, trading with an algorithm where you're looking for a certain number of confirmations on maybe the 1 hour and the 6 minute, the 50-minute and the 5 minute, the 4 hour and the 24 minute, you know, you're not going to catch those bottoms. You're not going to catch those bounces and feel like a boss when you long the bottom, but you're definitely going to get in part of the move, and you're going to have more confidence because, you like the way I said that? Because you have your confirmations that you've been able to backtest and see every time. And when I'm looking at BTC on the 5-minute, I do see something quite nice, which is this. You know, I do see that. I do see that acting quite nice. Quite nice. Isn't it nice when you're eating rice and you don't have to worry about getting lice? I always find that if I have to worry about getting lice while I'm eating my rice, it's not very nice. It's definitely not nice. Because I can't enjoy the food. I cannot enjoy it because you're concerned that you're going to get these little parasites on your scalp. And that's just not fun, guys. That's just not fun. Let's get back into the chat. Shout out to Frederick, who says, awesome job with the channel. Been watching for a while, even though it's pretty late here in Thailand. Yeah, shout out to you, bro. Thank you for being here, man. My Discord link is broken, says Jason. Jason, I love your name, bro. Yeah, let me give you guys another Discord link. Okay. Let's give it one that never runs out. And I'll drop it in the chat. And guys, you can get into Discord. Guys, we have a lot of good traders in this Discord. Seriously. A lot of really great traders. A lot of really great TA in there. Seriously. Shout out to Joseph Hanna, who says, have I done under any testing on whether the 424 works for shorting as well? Joseph Hanna, it does. In fact, in my course, I go through how to actually use the 424 in a bear market. If you guys are interested in that, you can go to jasoncaspertrading.com. And it's basically a comprehensive course focusing on Market Cipher. If you're totally new to trading, it's perfect for you. If you've been trading for a while and you want to know how to use Market Cipher better, this is also perfect for you. And yeah, we actually do a whole session on the 424 strategy. It's more complex than you know, just longing on dots. You know, there's nuances to it, and there's different ways to use it in different market environments, which is very important. And yes, it does work to short, but you cannot short using this strategy in an uptrend. Okay, you can only short using this strategy in a downtrend. That's very important. That is the key. That is the key. Because, and how do we determine if we are in an uptrend or a downtrend? Well, we very simply just look at the moving averages, the 21 and the 55. And if you see that we are below the moving averages, then you can use this to short. But you cannot just use this to short based on any old red dot if we're in an uptrend. You will get wrecked, okay? You will get absolutely wrecked. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's look at this BCH, because I keep getting the alert. I have it for every minute because I really wanted to watch this happen. Let's go to the 5-minute. Okay. Okay. Clearly we're getting some kind of bounce, some kind of bottom. We don't know how much we're going to get. We don't know how much we're going to get here. Just like with BTC, we don't know how much we're going to get here. BTC looking pretty nice though, y'all. Looking pretty nice on these lower TFs. But yeah, I'm in a scalp right now. Scalp long. Seeing what I can eke out of the market. I missed the good shorts, guys. I was so tired last night. I was so tired. I literally couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. It was 1:30 a.m. I couldn't even think. Couldn't even sleep. Couldn't even do anything. Oh, sweet. HKR says ETH is back at that EMA line. Nice. That's good to see. Eco Nick 636 says, if I get Market Cipher, will it work fine on the free version of TradingView? Yes. However, you won't have as many options available to you. But if you, for some reason, if somebody does not have Market Cipher yet, you can click my affiliate link in the description of the video, and you can get a 5% discount code if you use my link. It's a mutually beneficial thing because you will get a nice discount on Market Cipher, and it also helps support me in this channel. Shout out to Copcon, who says, I really recommend taking the course. Interesting, Jason Tantum Hoff, that the link doesn't work. Do you have a Discord account? That's so weird. Wow, Kalani is so scared. I can't sell my Bitcoin. I bought a 64K. Are you holding Bitcoin? Or are you in a trade right now? If you're holding Bitcoin, don't be too scared. Don't be too scared. If you're in a trade, shout out to Chris Khandan, who says, always trade from a position of power and not with FOMO, folks. Very good advice. Very good advice. Anchor is pumping. That's good to know. Okay, you're holding. Okay, don't worry about it. Like, okay, you bought the top. It happens, right? People do it. I mean, even if this is the top of the bull market, that's so strange that you can't get to my Discord from YouTube. Let's see what happens when I click it. Yeah, it works for me, guys. It takes me right to the Discord. Even if you bought at the top, bro, let's just, like, I mean, to put things just into perspective for you, just to put things into perspective, even the people who bought at the very, 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 very top of the last bull market are in massive profit right now. Massive profit. So even if this is the top, you know, I mean, just historically, people who buy at the tops end up in massive profit if they can hold through it. If they can hold through it. And that's the tough part, holding through it, because you see your money drop. Like if we do drop down to like 40, 35K or lower, it'll be tough. It'll be tough. But you have to look at it as I have Bitcoin, not as I have a certain dollar value amount. Bitcoin is valuable because it's Bitcoin, not because it's worth a certain amount of USD. The amount of USD is irrelevant to the amount of Bitcoin you have. Yes, we need USD to buy groceries, to go to the zoo with your kids and take a look at the porcupines. We need USD for that. However, if you are investing and holding Bitcoin long term, hopefully you're not looking to get rich quick, but you're looking to long term invest, and that will really be beneficial to you. And I do believe that we will see higher Bitcoin prices. So don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. Try not to think about it. And keep your finger off the sell button, because you might end up finding that you bought high and sold low. That's the worst feeling in the world. The only thing worse than buying high and holding through a crash is buying high and selling low and then seeing Bitcoin go back up to higher than when you bought it. That is lo tov. Lo tov. Yeah. Okay. JL wants to know what kind of alerts I set. Okay, cool, Kalani, cool. I'm glad you know. I'm glad you know, bro. Yeah, Tank 615 has a good outlook. Wow, Blaui's Cats and Baby, sorry for that pronunciation there, says ETH EMA line is also the weekly fib level. Very interesting, guys. Very interesting. I have to admit, I am interested. I am interested. Let's go back to that 4 hour and see. That's also the weekly fib level. You know, very, very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm really hoping that we hold this, guys. I'm really hoping we hold this. It looks like if I would just had to look, it looks like we're holding this level. We're holding this EMA and then also this as support here. But again, depending on your trading style, what you're looking to do, you might want to wait until you see more upward momentum, because you don't want to have a whoopsie daisy like we had back here with the green dot just disappearing. We want to make sure that we have momentum on our favor. And just like with the BTC, we got the strugs right now. We got the strugs getting through this line of resistance. We're struggling. And, I entered a long somewhere down in this area, getting the bounce off of here. with the mindset that I'm going to have to take profits on the way up until I can confirm that we have more upward momentum. I'm treating it as a scalp. Until I get more confirmation. So, yes, sir. Can you use MACD with Market Cipher? Yeah, I'm not a fan of the MACD, guys. I am not a fan. I'm really not a fan of the MACD. Shout out to Kalani L. I'm glad. Yeah, sometimes it's good just to hear someone else tell you what you already know. What levers do I use? Okay, so it really depends on the type of trade I'm in. If I'm looking to get into a swing trade, I will lower the leverage. If I am looking to get into a quick move, I will use, 3x, 5x at the most. Kyle R, will we bounce off the CME gap? Here's the thing. And also, if I'm looking to get in a scalp position, I will use a different account. I'll use a different account with less money in it and use higher leverage. I can check Litecoin. The CME gap is very possible, guys. It's very, very possible that we will get a bounce off the CME gap. The reason I say that is because if we come to this chart, is this the chart? Yeah, this is the chart, guys. This is the chart. If we come to this chart, and as I was saying in the beginning of the live stream, oh man, this is not the chart. This is not the dang chart, guys. This is not the chart. Well, anyway, yes, I do think we could come down to the CME gap because the CME gap is right here at this green line, at the 58.6 level. And if we do come down there, it would make a very, very, very nice long entry. A very, very, very nice long entry. Because there's a lot of confluence down there. There's a lot of confluence. If we go to the daily time frame, or let's go to the 12-hour. Let's go to the 12-hour and just kind of mark out some lines here. This level, that CME futures gap, if we're tracking this this kind of thing that's been happening with Bitcoin. Draw some lines here. Then it would be, there's just a lot of confluence here because it would be like the bottom of this trend line kind of deal. And also it's the CME gap, and also it's very near to some daily support levels. This is not the chart I want. I don't even know what the heck is on this chart, guys. I don't even know why. Oh, man, I need to get organized in my life. That's what I need. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here. Yes. Okay, so yes, that CME gap. Here's what I'm looking at. It would allow us to test the top of the wedge, test the bottom of the wedge as well, right? And right now, this we got to watch for a rejection here, but it would also allow us to have some FOMO wicks come down below, because a lot of people are looking at this rising wedge and they're thinking, okay, when we break below this rising wedge, I'm going to short it. A lot of people are looking to short it. And so what's going to happen is it's just the perfect storm to get a nice long position in, because if we come below the wedge and everyone's starting to short, well, the whales are going to have all this liquidity to long. And so we'll come down below here. It'll give time to confirm with a few candles. People are like, oh, we're shorting. And then we come to the CME gap, whoop, come back in. It'll be like what happened over here, right? Where we come down here, we're breaking below the trend line, everyone's shorting, and then whoop, we come up. And it would just really work out well too, because we would be printing these types of bottoms on Market Cipher. That's why you got to keep a look at Market Cipher, because we would be printing those types of bottoms here as well. If price were to come down to here, wick through here, man, that would be a nice, 4-hour lumpy lump right there. A lumpy lump. Absolutely. Absolutely. Tutti frutti. Okay, guys. Yeah, CME gap, how can it be filled on Friday? Well, it's still Friday. It can still be filled on the Friday and then bounce up. And then we'd have the gap filled and then potentially even another gap. Shout out to Jagged Mountain. Shout out to Jagged Mountain. I hope you're eating lots of soft pretzels out there. 40K is the ultimate target once it closes under 59K on a 4-hour or above, because it will be breaking out of the rising wedge, which is extremely bearish, says Swartz. Yeah, it could be. I think we have a lot of supports to break through before we get down to 40K. So I found in this bull market, I have low targets that often don't get hit, and I wish they would. Joseph Hanna says, as you can assume, I love the 4-hour, 24-minute strategy. LOL. Have you tested it against any other coins? Would it work with ETH or ADA? Yeah, it does, but you kind of have to tweak it a little bit. Yo, Andrew Sykes, what's up, man? What's up, bro? I'm reading the chat. Tell me what you need to tell me. Get Reward says the 4-hour, 24-minute definitely works on ETH. Yeah, sometimes I use the 3-hour more than the 4-hour on ETH, but for sure. I have not heard of Smart Money Concepts, Brandon Phillips. I have not. How do you set alerts? Mike Bradio wants to know, how do you set alerts? Okay, guys, if you go to youtube.com, I don't know if you've ever heard of this website, youtube.com, and you come up to the Jason Casper YouTube channel. Okay, right here, and well, obviously you wouldn't see it like this because you're not me, but you come to my videos, and you scroll down a while, you will find a video called Setting TradingView Alerts, 2 months ago, right here. You can find that. And also, if you go to the playlists, you're going to find a Market Cipher tutorials playlist. Very, very nice. Very nice. Also, shout out to C137. Guys, check out this YouTube channel. Dude does some really good TA. He's only got 144 subs. Check him out. He does some good TA. Yeah, that's all I can say. I like watching his streams. I like watching him. Andrew Sykes. Look at where the 55 EMA has landed on resistance. Are you talking about Bitcoin, bro? Are you talking about Bitcoin? Let's see. Oh, yeah, look at that. Interesting. Yeah, so really, guys, really, right now, Bitcoin, this is crucial. It's crucial that we are able to hold this. If we cannot, then, that would be intense. That would be intense. Just like we're camping. All right, guys, we're gonna have to cut this stream, but shout out to all you guys. And my ETH trade Cesar Montez is over. I accidentally had a take profit order set in ByBit at 2,500. I forgot about it because I set it right when I first entered to give myself that target, right? And so it closed at exactly $2,500. And that's fine because it was a top, right? So I got out of the trade. I got out of the trade on Valentine's Day. Yeah, memory man, a bad day for crypto. Yeah, Brian Roberts hears that the J guy is kind of cool. He's all right. All right, guys, I got to head out. Pray that all of you are blessed in the mighty name of Yeshua, the Messiah, Jesus Christ, and receive this blessing. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav alecha v'chunecha, Yisa Adonai panav alecha v'yasem lecha shalom b'shem Yeshua Mashiach El Yisrael. Which means in English, may the Lord bless you and protect you, and may he cause his face to shine upon you and have grace upon you. And may he lift up his face upon you and give you wholeness and peace. In the name of Jesus Christ, the God of Israel. Amen. And I do pray that the Lord reveals himself to each one of you in a very personal way. And for Big Dropper, who says, what the F, LOL, that's a blessing in Hebrew. A blessing in Hebrew to place the name of the Lord, the creator of heaven and the earth, upon you. And if you want to see that blessing in the scripture, you can go to Numbers chapter 6, verse 24, somewhere around there. Yeah, man, check it out. Check it out if you want to. But, yeah, that's what the F is going on around here. Jambry, I hope you feel better. Sorry for the upset stomach. Amen, amen, fish tube. Fish one tube, amen. Other John, hallelujah. Shout out to Other John. Other John, you are the man, bro. You are the man. Other John is the man, everybody. I love Other John. He's way cooler than the first John. He's the Other John. Okay, guys. Peace, peace.